Imagine you're a crow just vibing, doing crow things, stealing French fries, judging people from telephone wires, maybe plotting something sinister. And then out of nowhere, a giant two-legged creature reaches down and removes a piece of plastic wrapped around your leg, and you think to yourself, "Thanks, big hairless ape." Or maybe you feel absolutely nothing. That question sounds like a simple yes or no, but the answer is one of the most fascinating rabbit holes you will ever fall into. And by the end of this, you will never look at a wild animal the same way again. Let me start with something important. Animals are not stupid. I know that sounds obvious, but for centuries, the dominant scientific view was that animals are basically biological machines. They respond to stimuli. They do not feel things. They do not understand things. They just react. There was literally a rule called Morgan's Canon from the late 1800s that said, never attribute a complex mental process to an animal if a simpler explanation works. So if your dog looks guilty after destroying your couch, do not say it feels guilt. Say it learned that when you walk in with that face, bad things happen. Keep it simple, keep it mechanical. And look, that principle has its place, but we overcorrected massively. And then the research started rolling in, and it turns out animals are doing a whole lot more than we ever thought. So let's talk about dolphins, because this is where it gets wild. In 2013, off the coast of Hawaii, a wild bottlenose dolphin approached a group of divers during a night dive. It had a fishing hook embedded in its fin with a line wrapped around it, severely limiting its movement. And here is what gets you. The dolphin did not panic. It did not flee. It swam directly to one specific diver and held completely still while he worked on removing the hook. And when the line was tangled in a way that made it hard to reach, the dolphin actually rotated its own body to give the diver better access. That was not a reflex. That was not a trained behavior. That was a wild animal making a decision. This creature might be able to fix this. Now, let's talk about crows, because these birds are genuinely terrifying, in the best way. Researchers at the University of Washington wore specific masks while trapping crows and then walked around campus later wearing those same masks, and the crows did not just remember the threatening face, they recruited other crows to mob that face. Crows that had never even seen the original trapping event would dive-bomb the mask because they had been told about it. Crows literally gossip about you. They build reputational profiles of humans and share them. But here's the flip side. Crows also remember kindness. People who regularly feed crows report finding gifts left in return, shiny objects, buttons, small pieces of glass, placed exactly where the food usually goes. The crow is not just taking, it is reciprocating. It has a social model that includes you, and in that model, you have a relationship. Now let's talk about the encounter that stops everyone cold. A humpback whale was spotted entangled in crab trap lines off the coast of San Francisco. The lines were cutting into its body. It had been struggling for hours. A team of divers spent over an hour carefully cutting through the lines, and this 50-foot, 50-ton animal held completely still the entire time. And then when the last line was finally cut, the whale did not just disappear into the deep, it circled back. It approached each diver individually. One diver described being nudged gently and deliberately. Another said the whale positioned its eye directly level with his face and just stayed there, looking. And here's what marine biologists cannot easily explain away. The whale did not behave uniformly toward the water around it. It behaved differently toward the specific individuals who had freed it. So here's the big evolutionary question. Why would wild animals have any capacity to recognize helping behavior from humans? For most of history, a human approaching a wild animal meant one thing, and it was not good. But animals that live in complex social groups, dolphins, elephants, crows, wolves, they are constantly reading intentions. They need to know if a group member approaching them is coming to groom them or challenge them. And that cognitive machinery for reading social cues is flexible by design. It transfers to humans because the underlying signals look the same. Slow movements, no aggressive posture, calm energy. A wild animal might understand human kindness not because it knows what a human is, but because it knows what kindness looks like, period. In anyone, in anything. The signal is the signal, regardless of the body it comes from. The crow remembers your face for years. The dolphin repositions its body to help you help it. The capuchin monkey refuses food from someone it watched be unkind to a total stranger. The whale circles back and makes eye contact. None of that is nothing. None of that is coincidence. None of that is biology being accidentally poetic. That is intelligence. That is social awareness. And here's what that means for you practically. Every encounter you have with a wild animal adds to that animal's dataset on what humans are, and those datasets are not private. They spread through warning networks, through herd memory, through young animals watching adults. So the next time you stop to move a turtle off the road, or call a wildlife hotline, or just choose not to chase a bird, just know something out there noticed. And it remembered.